right, we're here, Old Tunnel State Park. I had no idea, but I was standing on the tunnel the entire time. Thankfully, my wife is the one that handled the bat. So yeah, that's why I don't love bats. The temperature is 65 degrees, the sun is shining, it is the perfect day for a hike. I am now on my way to Old Tunnel State Park just outside of Fredericksburg, Texas. Rachel, my wife, she is hanging out with family today, so I'm taking this opportunity to go on a small adventure of my own, do a little hiking, and enjoy the sunshine. Right, we're here, Old Tunnel State Park. I did read a lot of the signs, and apparently this is a famous spot for seeing bats. So just upon a little research and reading, there's this old train tunnel, that's where the name for Old Tunnel State Park comes from, and a bunch of bats live inside of this tunnel. Thankfully, they migrate during the colder months, December being one of those months, so the bats are not here. I'm very thankful for that. I really do not love bats. Now that I know that there are no bats, we can begin this hike and maybe we can go check out that tunnel. No idea, but I was standing on the tunnel the entire time. You start up there, that's where like you enter and park and all that stuff, and you kind of hike down the side. You are on top of the tunnel where all of the bats live. No wonder why they have all like these warning signs and things beforehand saying, hey, watch out, the bats are here, be careful, because you're right there with them on top of their house. I just don't love bats. I think they're cool. I appreciate what they do in nature. I just don't want them in my house. In the early 1900s, Fredericksburg was a booming market and needed a way to transport their goods to San Antonio. After years of construction and digging out a 920-foot tunnel, a railroad was now ready to serve that purpose. As the train would pass through this tunnel, the tunnel that gives the state park its name, passengers would need to close their windows because little pieces of rock would begin to fall. After about 30 years, the decision was made to close down the train route and the rail was sold for scrap. Soon, however, the abandoned tunnel became home to over 3 million bats. Now, instead of seeing a train emerge from that old tunnel, visitors can swing by at dusk to watch all these bats emerge from their cave. Now that's an experience. Yo, this is lamb's ear. This is one of my favorite plants because it is like a lamb's ear. It is the softest plant in the world. It's like softer than a blanket. Come on, I just want to rub it on my face. I don't know much about the animal demographics of Texas, but I did hear something over there in the woods. I'm thinking that Texas does not have bears, but I feel like they have other scary animals. Like some type of bobcat or something. I feel like that would be in Texas. This is a fun little hike that you get to do too when you visit this state park. It's kind of sweet because you hike down into the ravine where the railroad track must have gone. And you're like walking on this historical ground. Just think of the people that were on some of those trains and the things they transported during the early days of Texas. So that's one of the cool parts about the United States. There are just state parks everywhere. it's so cool because you can have a small adventure almost any time that you want, no matter where you live. And I can guarantee you there are some awesome state parks, municipal parks, or just local individual parks that you haven't explored, that have some awesome hiking trails, that have some great informational things that will teach you about the nature in your surrounding area. State parks and your local park system are a great way to get out, spend a day in nature, and to truly adventure small. All right, I'm gonna be real with you for a second. Let me get over here in this shade. So the reason that I do not like bats is because I think they are terrifying, and I had an experience a few years ago, and my wife can verify this for you because she was there. I was in this one-room studio apartment, and it's older, it was really cool, but I woke up one night and there was something flying around, and kind of Rachel and I wake up and realize it is a bat. There is a bat just flying around in this tiny room, and it's a studio, so there's no way to get away from this bat. I was freaking out. I was just hidden under the covers, but thankfully my wife saved the day. She's a baller. She just got up and was like, yo, I'm gonna get this bat. She got a box, found the bat that was sitting up in the corner of the room, covered it with a box. So she had to get up like right next to it and close to it and almost touch it. So she put this box around this bat, and I got like a cookie sheet, and we stuck it between the wall and the box, and then she carried this bat out of the studio that we were in. But it was also scary because on the way out in the hallway, it got out, and then it was like a daze, so we still had to scoop it up again and throw it out, but thankfully, my wife is the one that handled the bat. So yeah, that's why I don't love bats. Okay, here we are. Back to the home of the bats. A former train tunnel, now a bat home. Well, thank you all for joining me on this small adventure. It just goes to show you that you never know what is in your state. There are so many cool state parks and different parks, like I had mentioned, that you can go out and explore, learn something new, have a fun experience, get out in nature, and maybe even get a little exercise. But I enjoyed it, and I will see you hopefully at a state park somewhere, but for sure in the next video. Thanks for joining. Have a good one.